What's up, everybody? Brett Mix here, back for the Monday Night Wars. Today we're going to look at the WWF side. In under 10 minutes, I'll be able to recap the entire show with the important points. Hit like and subscribe if you're new to this channel, or if you just feel like following along with the Monday Night Wars for whenever you want to watch them. I archive them, so they're always there for you whenever you rewatch the Wars. You can always pick out what episode of mine you want to watch with it. Ratings were at 2.4 this week for Monday Night Raw, which was down from Nitro's rating, as Nitro got 3.3. So a 0.9 difference between Nitro and Raw for the second straight week, the same ratings. 3.3 for Nitro, 2.4 for Raw. WCW won for the 51st week in a row. So now after this week's loss, the total scoreboard is 17 wins for the WWF, 69 losses, and 2 draws through the 88 weeks they've gone at it. So 17 wins and 69 losses and 2 draws for the WWF. It went on Monday night for this week on June 23rd, 1997, from the Coble Hall in Detroit, Michigan. Kind of interesting that they're picking a Coble Hall to go in rather than the Joe Louis Arena. It just fits the fan. It looks better on TV is when it's a sellout. If it was in the Joe Louis Arena, it wouldn't have been a sellout, in my estimation. Vince McMahon and Jim Ross are on commentary. We open up with a thorn in your eye and the pyro, and there are signs galore. McMahon says Raw is War is a jam-packed arena, and you'll only see these enthusiastic fans in the World Wrestling Federation. The show begins with the theme of the Nation of Domination, and the new nation stands in the ring looking more powerful with Kama, Ahmed, and D'Lo standing around Farouk. Of course, Ahmed Johnson turned heel and joined the nation, as a reminder. McMahon is in the ring and says, "Why, Ahmed, why?" And Ahmed says no one backed him up as face because he's a black man. Ahmed gives a racist explanation and calls Taker a dirty dog, a slave to Paul Bearer. D'Lo says all these people turn their back on him and Farouk. And Farouk says the truth kills everyone, and he's got this new nation together, and they'll get the job done by any means necessary. Ahmed says he better straighten up his face, to McMahon. Ahmed says if McMahon looks different, he was going to wish he will never be born. Kama says he's proud of the victory he got over The Undertaker last week in that tag match. Not sure why he beat the WWF champion on TV so simplistically, but that's what he's proud of. And in under 5 minutes at that to boot. They end by saying they get the job done by any means necessary, with a big salute. All of a sudden, Crush and a band of bikers come to the ring. Crush has a new gang of friends, it looks like, who step outside the ring at the nation. Crush says, "We are the DOA, the Disciples of Apocalypse." Crush says they ride together, they fight together, and both stables start brawling in and around ringside. They stick it to the nation. JR says this could be a sign of things to come. You think? JR promotes a couple of tag matches for the night. McMahon says there'll be a 3-way IC title match for the first time ever on Raw, when Owen Hart defends the IC title against Triple H and Goldust. Of course, they called him Hunter Hearst Helmsley back then, but Ken Shamrock versus Rockabilly with the Honky Tonk Man is the first match. Rockabilly gets a halfway entrance on TV. Dan Severn is doing commentary. The Beast, this is his first WWF on-screen appearance. Belly-to-belly suplexes, and Shamrock wins at 2:39 after he makes gun tap to the ankle lock. I give it 3/4 of a star. LOD versus the Godwins in a WWF Tag Team title quarterfinal tournament match. The Godwins, who are heels now, no more dancing around. No more dancing around to Country Boy, and no more wearing those shirts. They just have overalls on now. LOD are mega over, of course. Hawk no-selled any offense like always, so he gets a pile driver and he stands right back up like always. So Animal took the brunt of the offense the Godwins had, which was little as the LOD dominated the match. They hit the Doomsday device, but it was still applied with a modified version. So at the 3:42, the LOD were victorious, half a star. All of a sudden, the Hart Foundation came out and attacked the LOD because the LOD are their opponents at Canadian Stampede. Brett told his pack to attack, and he was happy with the results, smiling on the ramp. Paul Bearer and The Undertaker are backstage, and Taker began to talk to Paul Bearer, and he said, "You shut up and listen to me." Taker grabbed Paul by the throat. Vader interrupted it, and Taker grabbed Vader by the throat too. Paul says, "Remember the fire! Remember the fire!" sort of letting out a little bit of Taker's secret, so Taker let him go, and he walks back furious. Owen cuts a backstage promo claiming there's a conspiracy against him in the IC title, that he doesn't have to get pinned and he can still lose the belt. It's true. Flash Funk versus Sabu with Bill Alfonso. She was a good aerial match as expected. Springboard planches, hurricane ranas, thrust kicks, spinning heel kicks. Drop kick to the knee by Sabu, who has unorthodox moves, a moonsault, and a kick out. A table is set up by McMahon and this table is set up as McMahon and Heyman talk about cross promotion on commentary. The table wouldn't break, so Sabu had to do a moonsault a couple times on Flash Funk, and in the end, it ended in a double countout at 4:38. I gave it a 1.5 stars. Mankind took on the British Bulldog, Foley getting better ovations as of late after those interview segments with Jim Ross. It really helped elevate McFoley's character inside the Mankind persona. Mankind with a sign around his neck wearing an Austin 316 shirt and the sign that read, "Pick me, Steve," for whoever wins the tag team tournament. They face Austin and a partner of his choice. Mankind wants to be that partner, so it says, "Pick me, Steve." Mankind with a snapmare and a leg drop. A DDT. He gets a good pop when he does offense to the Bulldog, but the Bulldog snaps suplex Mankind on the ramp. He goes for a power slam, but the mountable call is locked on, and Bulldog with a low blow to Mankind. At 4:09, Mankind won by DQ after the Bulldog grabbed a steel chair following that low blow and hit Mankind with it. I gave it a star. Bulldog just kills Mankind with the chair after the match. Just amazingly hard headshots. This is forgotten about usually. This was just underrated time. Mankind took a lot of underrated bumps, I should say, back in these days. They're not really looked at as far as his biggest bumps ever go, but they were there and often. Owen tells Monsoon he wants Pillman in his corner to defend the title tonight in the three-way, and he says, "See, that's fine, because Goldust is going to have Marlena and Triple H is going to have Chyna. So, Owen, if you want Pillman, that's fine." So the triple threat gets underway. Goldust broke up a pinning attempt. A double team moves Triple H and Owen, the two heels, obviously going after Goldust. Owen with a double drop kick and a spinning heel kick got a 2. Chyna comes in and gives Goldust a hurricane rana. Triple H throws Owen and Helmsley with an enziguri. Pillman held Triple H back while Owen covered Goldust after the enziguri and won at 3:21 as the first ever IC champ. Pat Patterson was doing the referee job, got the pinfall for Owen, retaining the title. I gave it 2 stars and 3/4. McMahon interviewed Owen's brother Brett, who had the anvil with him. Brett goes over the Canadian Stampede opponents. Then there's a boxer who goes by the Hitman running in. It's Tommy Herd, and both guys go face to face. He jumps the rail. Brett reacts to USA chants. He looks to the left and right. Things eventually get settled down. Savio Vega interrupts so Brett and him just had a stand face off. Then next segment, Savio Vega interrupts the Nation promo and Farouk. Well, Farouk whips Vega backstage, so I'm wondering if Los Boricuas are going to show up soon. That might be a spoiler. Brian Christopher versus Scott Taylor. This is interesting because it's too cool when they're jobbers. Brian Christopher is getting a little singles push here, but he was a nobody just to the USWA, so being Lawler's son helps. But we're watching Too Cool go at it way before Too Cool. King comes out with Christopher. Taylor dropped Christopher, and up top, Christopher said he was going to run down the light heavyweight champion. A guillotine leg drop gets it done for Christopher, who had to come flying down. He wins at 3:05. I gave it a star and 3/4. The Undertaker and Vader took on the Nation in another quarterfinal tag team tournament match. This is the final first round match. Bear's ordering Taker on the outside as the Nation and DOA go at it. Taker hit Bear in the face, and Nation pinned Vader. Nation, as Taker hit Bear in the face, and then he punched Vader, and the Nation pinned Vader after that. Nation win at 6 minutes as Undertaker doesn't team with his partner against Paul Bear's wishes. To end the show, Vader and Undertaker go at it. Taker tombstone Vader. Paul Bear says, "Next week I'm going to tell the world your secret." And Taker walked off and did a throat slash with his eyes in the back of his head. And a throat slash. Quality rating, I'd give the show about a 5 out of 10. Seems right. It had good competition in the ring, but it lacked Austin and HBK. They weren't there. Brett was there, but it wasn't good use of him. He didn't say anything other than that Hitman face-off. You could really feel the lack of star power on this episode. And another reason, the Nation vs. Undertaker main event lacked special storytelling. Second week in a row, we've had Undertaker against the Nation, and it's getting a little played out, especially since King of the Ring's Undertaker-Farouk match is already over. So they don't really need to be feuding together, but they still are. Ahmed, as a member of the Nation, was a nice opening up segment, but not earth-shattering to get you to compelled to want to watch the rest of the episode, but Foley continued to get over, as did Goldust, as they head into Canadian Stampede in their respective matches. So once again, Raw loses. They're 17, 69, and 2 all time in the 88 weeks of the Monday Night War. Hit like and subscribe if you like these reviews. I'm Brett Mix, and we'll see you on the next Monday Night Raw, or Raw is War rather, review. Brett Mix, and I'm out.